Meghan Markle's fashion freeze-out. She has been dumped by Balenciaga. You stupid cow! Like, how many times have I told you don't be a...
She is reportedly working on a cookbook.
Meghan Markle has been dumped by Balenciaga. And wow, this is brutal. That is the explosive claim now following Meghan after she vanished from Pierpaolo Piccioli's biggest Balenciaga moment yet. Less than 1 year ago, she flew into Paris, stepped out in custom white Balenciaga, and allowed her team to present the night like the beginning of a powerful new fashion alliance.
Dumped by Balenciaga just 1 year after she thought, this I'm going to invite myself appearance at Paris Fashion Week was going to change her career for good.
Cameras followed her. Photographers screamed her name. Her entrance became international news. She looked convinced that Paris had finally given her the elite comeback Hollywood never delivered.
They learned, as many other brands and people have learned, that unfortunately when doing business with Meghan, there's no attention for anyone else but Meghan. And it is almost always negative.
Now Pierpaolo has presented his first couture collection for Balenciaga, the most important show of his new career, and Meghan was nowhere near.
I think he has made a smart move, although it was a very, I would say, unwise move to have her in the first place. I mean, Paula, people should never forget that she used that moment to very obviously, I think, stoke the deep emotional trauma still suffered by her husband and also attempt to create all of the wrong headlines.
Being there was never just about fashion. It was about the cameras, the flashing lights, the headlines, and the publicity. Everything Meghan desperately needs right now to prove she still belongs in the room.
The funniest thing is that she really thought this was going to be yet another reinvention. It would really help her one-off. And she knew one-off was coming. But the thing is she sucked all the oxygen out of the room. Her behavior was so bizarre.
According to journalist Paula Froelich, a fashion source claimed Meghan was not invited because of what allegedly happened during her previous appearance. The reported message was savage. Pierpaolo wanted the attention on his clothes, not on Meghan. Balenciaga has not publicly confirmed that claim, and Pierpaolo has not announced any ban. But Meghan's absence still creates a humiliating question she cannot control.
She showed up to the original, his debut show. This was Pierpaolo's first show for Balenciaga. It was a very big deal. She showed up late. Now, number one, you don't show up late, but you definitely don't show up late when Anna Wintour shows up half an hour early. Anna Wintour is kind of seen as the period on the end of the sentence. Nothing comes after Anna. So she sat down and everyone just sat there and waited and waited. And finally, Meghan waltzes in and with her head held high as if she's royalty and stops, does all the photos, all of this, and makes it even later, then sits down, proceeds to giggle as a model trips on the runway. She was quickly silenced by her good friend Marcus. And it just was so bizarre. She didn't even go to the after party.
That was so crude, wasn't it? It's like she is a mean girl bully, Paula.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now let's get back to today's story. If they are such close friends and serious collaborators, why did his biggest night happen without her? Being there was never just about fashion. It was about the cameras, the flashing lights, the headlines, and the publicity. Everything Meghan desperately needs right now to prove she still belongs in the room. And the UK humiliation was only the beginning.
And surely, Paula, given the headlines that created, Balenciaga must have looked at that behavior as well and thought this has a negative impact on our brand.
Meghan had just returned to Britain in total secrecy with Harry and their children. She finally entered Highgrove. She finally met King Charles and Queen Camilla, but she received none of the public images that could have transformed the visit into a global Meghan moment.
I still believe that the UK trip was a total epic disaster. And I understand they got the private meeting with the King and Queen, but just hear me out on this, right? Because What she didn't receive was the photo opportunity that she so desperately wanted. What she didn't get was the chance to unveil the children's faces at a public royal event or royal adjacent event, which would have then allowed her to spend the next year pimping out the kids as much as possible for her business.
No glamorous family photograph, no palace balcony, no walk beside the king, no public endorsement. She arrived privately, met privately, and disappeared privately. That may be good for a damaged family relationship. It is terrible for a celebrity brand that survives on visibility.
Because what the hell do they do now? What do they do for the next year? Meghan has to keep the kids covered up, which she doesn't want to do, and makes them look weird and creepy and all of those things that we've discussed before.
Then came Paris. One perfect Balenciaga photograph could have changed the entire mood of Meghan's week. She could have appeared calm, expensive, and untouchable, while Harry's legal defeat and awkward podcast headlines dominated Britain.
And Meghan could have gone. Paula reveals she was in Europe, not in London, supporting her husband during what turned into his worst week in 30 years. And while she had the children with her, she travels with a nanny, so it would have been fine. She just wasn't invited again.
She could have replaced the image of a secret visitor with the image of an international fashion figure. She could have told the world that the Duchess was still wanted somewhere powerful. But the invitation apparently never came. The cruelty of this story is that Meghan had already sold the previous show as proof that she belonged inside Pierpaolo's circle. Her spokesperson described a relationship built over years and said Meghan had worked closely with him on important designs.
She didn't even bother going to the after party. Her team let it slip that she was a collaborator with Pierpaolo. And it's just very odd. You don't take away from someone's big achievement on their first big show for a major design house. So, this time around, they were like, yeah, no, this was his debut couture show. It was very important for him, and it just wasn't going to happen.
That language did not sound casual. It sounded like Meghan had become a trusted creative partner, a private muse, and a valuable part of his next chapter. Then Pierpaolo described the invitation himself. In an interview with The Cut after the show, he explained that Meghan reached out and said she would love to attend. He said they had known each other for years and had been texting, but the key detail was impossible to miss. Meghan contacted him. She wanted to come. His team agreed. They kept the appearance secret because he liked the surprise. That version was far less grand than Meghan's version.
Remember, he quietly deflated the whole mythology in an interview with The Cut at his after party, saying him and Meghan met some years ago. They've been texting ever since. And she reached out to say she would love to come to the show. So while his team agreed to pay a reported $250,000. Now, look, I know to you or me, that sounds like a lot, but Paula says it's for her flights, hotels, cars, and outfits. Actually, not that much in this world. She says, considering it was part of the PR boost for the show, no one knew it would be hijacked. But fashion observers were irate. A collaborator? Who does she think she is? Beyonce? My source last.
There is nothing embarrassing about asking a friend whether you can support his show. The embarrassment comes from what happened next. Meghan's team made the relationship sound bigger, deeper, and more professionally important than Pierpaolo's own explanation. She did not simply attend. She arrived surrounded by claims of collaboration, friendship, and influence. Her presence was packaged as evidence that the fashion establishment had chosen Meghan again.
Oh God, no. She was not invited. Not after what happened last time.
9 months later, the establishment held its most important Balenciaga event and apparently chose everyone but Meghan. She was already in Europe. She was not trapped in California. She did not need to cross the planet. She had staff. She had security. She had every reason to appear if she was welcome. Yet Demi Moore, Naomi Watts, Cynthia Erivo, and other major stars filled the audience while Meghan's chair remained empty.
An audience that included real front row stars like Demi Moore, Cynthia Erivo, and Naomi Watts. But as Paula rightfully notes, noticeably one person was not at the show. His supposed good friend and collaborator, according to her, the Duchess of Sussex.
That empty chair is more damaging than any public statement because Balenciaga did not need to attack her. The fashion house did not need to release a denial. Pierpaolo did not need to explain their friendship. The show simply happened, the cameras flashed, the reviews appeared, and Meghan was not part of the picture. And this is exactly where the allegations about her previous behavior become so dangerous.
Meanwhile, she also was invited to a Chanel event, which took place at Highgrove during the time she and Harry were in residence. The legendary fashion house just celebrated the graduating fellows of its art embroidery fellowships in partnership with the King's Foundation in the King's own gardens, and Meghan was not there. She must have been too busy with the cookbook the Times of London reported she has been working on.
Froelic's source claimed Meghan pulled too much attention toward herself during the earlier show. She was also accused of arriving late, stopping for photographs, and turning Pierpaolo's debut into a Meghan spectacle. Balenciaga has not confirmed those allegations. Meghan's team has not publicly accepted that version. But the story is believable to critics because it matches the image Meghan created that night. A huge entrance, endless cameras, viral footage, and headlines that swallowed the designer she claimed to be supporting.
Now, a lot of people assumed that because she has a high Q rating and everyone knows who she is, that it would get them a lot of attention and the PR would rub off on them. Unfortunately, it is all negative, and people don't buy the products that she shills. They want to see her and read about her. And even the people who say they don't, they do, because it's all schadenfreude. But at the same time, they do not want to buy those products that are associated with her.
There was also the uncomfortable front row video. Meghan suddenly appeared to laugh, while the rest of the audience remained serious. Online critics accused her of laughing after a model stumbled. Her representative denied that she laughed at the model, and there is no confirmed evidence proving what triggered the reaction. But Meghan does not operate in a world where only the truth matters.
So he definitely got Sussexed in that respect.
I just love Marcus Anderson thinking, "You
Yes.
stupid cow! Like, how many
boy.
times have I told you don't be a bitch in public with the cameras on you?" Like, his face there is just absolute abject horror.
She operates in an image business where 5 seconds of awkward footage can define an entire appearance. The clip looked bad. It spread everywhere. It created another argument. And instead of Pierpaolo's collection controlling the next day's conversation, Meghan's behavior became part of the story. That is the real nightmare for a designer.
There's no way Pierre would have her back after last year. He wants it to be about the clothes, not her. Who does she think she is? Beyonce? My source last.
Meghan does not simply enter a room. She becomes the room. Her clothes, gestures, facial expressions, security, title, marriage, and royal feud all arrive with her. The designer loses control. The brand loses control. The event becomes another chapter in the never-ending Meghan Markle drama. Last year, that chaos may have looked useful because her surprise arrival generated enormous attention. This year, Pierpaolo did not need it. He had the stars, he had the press, he had the applause, he had a career-defining couture debut. He could let the collection lead without wondering whether Meghan would turn the front row into another personal campaign.
Here is Pierre's first show for Balenciaga, and she basically claims some sort of credit for it. It's unbelievable. No way would he have had her back for couture, never again.
That is why the alleged rejection cuts so deeply. Meghan has spent years trying to prove that leaving royal life did not remove her from the global elite. Netflix was supposed to make her a major producer. Spotify was supposed to make her an influential voice. Hollywood friendships were supposed to create a new power circle. Her lifestyle company was supposed to turn her taste into a business empire. Paris was supposed to give her the one thing those projects could not guarantee: immediate prestige.
Meghan Markle's fashion front row freeze out. Meghan has now been fully shunned by the fashion world.
Balenciaga allowed Meghan to look royal without returning to royal duty. She could wear couture, sit beside famous actresses, and be photographed like a woman whose status did not depend on Buckingham Palace. She could use one front row appearance to suggest that the world's most exclusive rooms still opened the second she arrived. But exclusive rooms remain exclusive because they can close the door. A title may attract attention. It cannot force a second invitation. A spokesperson may call someone a collaborator. It cannot force that designer to confirm the relationship. A dramatic entrance may produce headlines. It cannot guarantee a permanent seat.
It has been an astonishing week for the British royal family and for Prince Harry and Meghan in so many ways. Lots and lots of ups, let's be honest, because they did get the meeting with the king. Meghan got this completely unlikely and bizarre daytime Emmy nomination for a TV show that I certainly didn't think was a daytime series, but chalk that up as a little win. But the lows, Paula, the lows are so low.
And Meghan desperately needed that seat after the UK trip failed to give her a public victory. She reportedly secured a private reunion with Charles and Camilla, but the palace controlled every visible detail. Meghan did not receive the photograph that could have dominated magazines for weeks. She did not receive a public royal role. She did not stand beside the family while cameras documented reconciliation. The meeting gave her contact, but it gave her no content.
Now, I know all of the briefing is, oh no, it's Meghan who didn't want to reveal the children's faces. Well, we all know that's a total lie because we can see how close she's come to doing it time and again on Instagram. So she didn't get that.
Then another fashion contrast appeared almost on her doorstep. During the same period, the King's Foundation held a Chanel-supported event at Highgrove celebrating students trained in embroidery and millinery. There is no evidence Meghan was expected to attend, and it would be false to claim Chanel personally rejected her. But the symbolism is savage. Meghan was close to a royal estate where the monarchy and one of the world's most powerful fashion houses were working together, yet she was publicly connected to neither side. The king had the real royal institution. Chanel had the real fashion partnership. Young designers had the real couture work.
She had tried lots and lots of different fashion houses, but Balenciaga was the one. Yet, as usual, and this reminds me a bit like when she did the guest edit of Vogue with Edward Enninful back in her time within the royal family. Anytime she gets close to that world, she manages to be so repulsive in her behavior. All of these fashion types, and let's be honest, Paula, I mean, they are up their own ass. They are. You know, I can't really deal with fashion types, but they are repulsed by her behavior, and they will not put up with it.
Meghan had a private visit that produced no photograph and a Balenciaga relationship that suddenly looked much weaker than advertised. That is not just bad timing. That attacks the identity she has tried to build. Meghan wants to be seen as independent from the monarchy, but the title still does most of the heavy lifting.
Completely rejected by the fashion world. And this has got to hurt Paula because 9 months ago, this was meant to be the reinvention of Meghan Markle, the end of Was Never, and the start of this dream that she had of transferring into high fashion. Not going to happen.
Her upcoming MasterChef Australia appearance is promoted around contestants preparing a dish fit for a duchess. Not a dish fit for a producer. Not a dish fit for an entrepreneur. Not a dish fit for a television star. A dish fit for a duchess.
Because do you remember she was really angry when the MasterChef producers used the term royalty to plump up her visit. But I'm sorry, if she's using Duchess, in my view, that still goes against the, well, I would argue the not just the moral of the Sandringham Summit, but actually the letter of the law when it comes to the Sandringham Summit. And also, Paula, by the way, I think she would have been paid for this. A lot of money. I mean, this was not something she was doing for charity.
No, she doesn't do charity. Her charity is at home, isn't it?
The royal label is still the hook because everybody involved knows it is stronger than Meghan's lifestyle credentials alone. She left royal work, but she still sells royal status. She rejects the restrictions, but she keeps the title. She demands privacy, but her business needs publicity. She wants to be treated like a serious entrepreneur, but television still presents her as the woman who married a prince.
The other issue is with that, she also has HRH stationery that she has sent to friends before. So, you know, I think she's just getting quite hypocritical and likes to get angry with everyone but herself, doesn't she?
The Balenciaga story makes that contradiction worse because fashion was supposed to prove Meghan did not need the palace. Paris was supposed to show that she had built a separate court filled with designers, celebrities, and powerful friends. Instead, the biggest fashion moment of Pier Paolo's Balenciaga career arrived, and Meghan's royal title could not get her through the door.
How do you rate where Meghan stands now? Because we've got the axe scene from the fashion world. She continues to push Was Never. The emails started again this week. And she has this MasterChef Australia appearance coming up later this month. She's trying to pump this as well. It's the biggest TV show in Australia. But I think the fact that she's making or getting the contestants to make, look at that, a dish fit for a duchess. How on earth can she claim that that isn't cashing in on royalty, that that isn't a direct contravention of the Sandringham Summit?
She did receive a Daytime Emmy nomination for With Love, Meghan, and that is a real positive headline. The series was nominated for Outstanding Lifestyle Program, giving Meghan something legitimate to celebrate after months of ridicule. But even that victory shows how far she has moved from the glamorous image she tried to create in Paris.
Let's be real clear about being nominated for an Emmy,
Yeah,
shall we?
please. What's going on here, Paula?
It's a marketing campaign, as is everything, as is all of their awards, whatnot. You know, it's almost as if Harry has turned into a professional award winner. And Emmys are quite easy to get nominated for, to be fair, as long as you've got the money, or the production house has the money, or Netflix has the money.
The Emmy nomination is for a lifestyle show. MasterChef is about food. As Ever sells spreads, honey, tea, baking products, and wine. Reports continue to connect her with a possible cookbook. Meghan is no longer moving toward a permanent high-fashion position. She is moving deeper into kitchens, gardens, gift baskets, and staged domestic warmth. There is nothing wrong with that business. The problem is, Meghan appears unwilling to accept one clear identity.
Emails that come out, it's the same crap, really, over and over. It's honey, something about being sweet, honey, tea, flower petals, buy my booze. There's only so many emails exhorting you to do this. And again, it's the perfect summer day with her with a basket of fruit, apples, which makes no sense because she's not making applesauce. So, you know, it's just, and she also is still using, frankly, if you look at all these photos and videos, they're all still from the Netflix shoot.
She wants to be the relatable woman making food at home and the untouchable Duchess arriving late to couture. She wants viewers to believe she is warm and ordinary, then reminds television audiences that a dish must be fit for her title. She wants royal privacy in Britain and celebrity exposure in Paris. She wants every contradiction to work in her favor, but Balenciaga may have exposed the limit.
Every business in the States has a 5-year runway to lose money. You are allowed to lose money for 5 years. You can run a lot through that business to get it all off on taxes, to get tax breaks. So she's got about maybe 2 years left, in which time I believe she will sunset this company and raise up through another.
The fashion world does not have to argue with Meghan. It can simply stop calling. It can dress another actress. It can photograph another celebrity. It can give the front row seat to someone who creates attention without dragging a royal war behind her. And that possibility must terrify Meghan because public rejection is one thing she cannot rebrand. She can call a failed podcast a new chapter. She can call a private royal meeting progress. She can call a lifestyle show an expression of joy. She can turn criticism into a speech about authenticity. But she cannot edit another person's guest list. She cannot post enough flowers to create an invitation that never arrived. She cannot release a polished Instagram video and place herself inside a couture show that continued perfectly without her. She cannot make an empty chair look like a strategic decision.
She is reportedly working on a cookbook, which will be interesting. I mean, there's only so many one-pot pastas you can do. However, she still wants to be in this arena.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple printable and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. The strongest part of last year's Paris appearance was not the dress. It was the suggestion that Meghan still had access. She walked into a room filled with cameras and appeared to tell every critic that the royal exit had not reduced her status. She looked like a woman who had found a new palace, a new court, and a new designer willing to place her at the center. This year destroyed that illusion. Pierpaolo had his moment without her. Balenciaga received praise without her. Major stars appeared without her. The cameras flashed without her. The fashion world moved forward without waiting for Meghan Markle. That is why this story hurts more than another negative article.
It's a very opaque process, and frankly, almost everyone gets nominated for an Emmy.
Meghan's entire public image depends on the belief that she is still wanted by powerful people. The palace may keep its distance, but Hollywood wants her. Hollywood may become skeptical, but fashion wants her. Fashion may hesitate, but television wants her. Every time one door closes, her team points toward another door. Now the doors are becoming smaller. Instead of a permanent Netflix empire, there is one lifestyle series fighting for survival. Instead of an influential podcast brand, there are old clips and another abandoned deal. Instead of a major fashion alliance, there is one surprise appearance followed by one very visible absence.
For Harry, I think it's a disaster because he looks increasingly old.
Instead of a public royal reunion, there is a secret meeting with no photograph. Meghan can still wear expensive clothes. She can still attend celebrity events. She can still receive invitations. Nobody can honestly prove that the entire fashion industry has banned her. But the fantasy that Balenciaga had embraced her as a permanent insider has collapsed. The anonymous source may be exaggerating. The missing invitation may have a private explanation. Pier Paolo may still consider Meghan a friend. Those possibilities must be acknowledged. But none of them erase the central humiliation. Meghan's team presented last year's appearance like the launch of a lasting relationship, and the biggest event of that relationship's supposed future happened without Meghan.
I mean, let's be honest, Brand Sussex is dead. Everything they touch is a disaster. They've got the political, well, I was going to say the social awareness of two of the most tone-deaf people in the world, but at least he's ticked a box, Charles.
That is the fact her publicity cannot soften. Last year, Meghan used Paris to show she was still important. This year, Paris showed it did not need her. Last year, she arrived surrounded by flashes and headlines. This year, the flashes went off for everyone else. Last year, her team called her a collaborator. This year, the collaborator was not in the room. So what happens now? Does Meghan suddenly appear in another designer's front row to prove she has not been frozen out? Does she release new photographs in luxury clothing to distract from the missing invitation? Does she retreat into the Emmy nomination, MasterChef, and the cookbook reports because lifestyle television is the only lane still offering dependable attention? Or does she finally accept that one dramatic Paris entrance never made her a fashion power? Because Balenciaga did not need to publish the words, "Meghan Markle is dumped." The empty chair said it for them. And after a secret UK reunion that gave her no photograph, a royal title that television still uses to sell food, and a fashion comeback that may already be over, Meghan is facing the one headline she cannot control. She wanted the cameras. She wanted the flashes. She wanted the proof that she still belonged among the global elite. But when the most important invitation went out, Meghan Markle was left outside the story.